Hello, you're welcome. You're welcome onto my channel today, and it gives me great joy to observe you are viewing this video. I'm Dr. Olayinka Konle. I'm a lecturer in the university. I'm a researcher. On this channel, I do a number of stuff, but all the stuffs I do on this channel, you can easily cluster them into four: sociology, research, relationship, and migration. Meanwhile, are you subscribed to this channel? If no, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and click subscribe on your screen right now to subscribe to the channel. Tap subscribe on your screen. And if you have subscribed to the channel previously, thank you very much for staying tuned. Today, the title of this video is Interpretative Phenomenological Analysis, IPA. Interpretative Phenomenological Analysis, IPA. This is a very important method of data analysis that people are not so much aware of, and I find it very interesting and very useful. I've used this method a number of times. I've taught people about it, and I've dropped videos on many other methods of data analysis, and I find this one very interesting. It's a qualitative method of data analysis. It's used essentially to analyze qualitative data. And what is the essence of this method of data analysis? It is to give comprehensive, elaborate, detailed, very comprehensive detail and explanation of people's personal experiences, people's personal lived experiences, their experiences as they lived in their community on a personal case-by-case basis. Case-by-case basis in the sense that even though you have so many cases, your attention is to give comprehensive, in-depth, detailed analysis of these cases on case-by-case basis. So it is without preconceived notion. It is not based on any preconceived assumption. It is not based on any a priori knowledge. It's just you want to understand a phenomenon and people's experiences about this phenomenon, and you are paying close attention to the whole essence of an individual case. So it is not essentially, in IPA, the essence is to understand the phenomenon, the situation, the issue, the problem, based on the lived experiences of individuals within their cultural, subjective, social environment. You want to understand the problem, the situation, the phenomenon based on people's original lived experiences within this cultural domain. And you don't assume, even though you may have knowledge, understanding based on data of the general assumption, but you're not moving from the general assumption to the individual like many people do, based on their a priori knowledge. In IPA, Interpretative Phenomenological Analysis, you are moving from the individual person, the individual situation, lived experiences, even though you want to now move to the general assumption. But the general assumption is not influencing the data analysis. You are only interested in no preconceived notion, in no preconceived understanding, in no prior knowledge, but based on lived experiences of the individual, for you to be able to interpret the endeavor, interpret the situation, the experience, to make sense of human situation. So the understanding human situation is the actual essence of using interpretative phenomenological analysis. But in interpreting it based on the contextual situation, you are focusing on that lived experience of that single individual. And that's why it's a qualitative method of data collection. But in qualitative data collection or analysis is based on quality, not quantity, not as many as possible, but as quality as possible. So if you are doing quantitative study, you can't do this. If you collect 1,000 questionnaires, that's so much, and you can't have textual data. But in qualitative data analysis, you are interested in depth, quality. So you can do case-by-case analysis. For example, if you have 50 in-depth interview or 10 KIIs, you can still do IPAs on all of this one. I'm not saying you cannot do IPA for larger data, but I'm only saying that You are interested in subjective lived experiences of the individual based on case-by-case basis, detailed study of people case-by-case basis before general cases or general claims. So this method is idiographic. What do I mean by idiographic? That is, it is a study of particular, specific, peculiar social reality, and to understand human processes. Study of particular, specific social reality is idiographic. You are interested in a social situation and based on experiences of individual, unique, distinct knowledge, not based on general assumption. That's why we say interpretative. So you are interested in interpreting, and I've always been saying this, that the essence of data analysis is not just to present the data. I was examining a PhD, a thesis, like a number of theses over a period of time, finishing it today. I just see people just drop their data, drop their findings without interpretation. And that's the beauty of interpretative phenomenological analysis, is to interpret, and it helps you to interpret. And as you are analyzing the data, you have in mind that the essence is to interpret, to bring the salient nuances and dynamics and processes and patterns. So the essence of doing this case-by-case phenomenological analysis is essentially for you to be able to bring out patterns, to bring relationship, to bring connections among all these cases to reach valid conclusion. So you are looking for patterns. You are interpreting it based on your strong understanding of social processes. As a researcher, anybody can go to the field to collect data. Anybody can analyze data. But how are you presenting the data as findings, and how are you interpreting it? This is very important. So what are the steps in interpretative phenomenological analysis? You have to collect your data, obviously, transcribe. I have a video on transcription. Then you have to code and recode based on the patterns that are emerging. So you do reading, then you do coding, initial coding. Then from this coding, you develop themes based on your objectives. Very important. Your objectives and research questions must be in focus. So you develop themes, and you search for connections and relationships among all these themes. It's based on these themes that you are able to understand the situation before you now move. So you search for connections, relationships, then you move across different cases. It's very important. Moving across different cases. If you have 20 cases, after you have done for one, then you look for in other cases to move themes across. So you move across these themes. So you look for, try to establish patterns, try to establish connections. Don't forget, that's what you're looking for. Connections and patterns across, to establish these patterns. Then you look for the totality of the experiences. It's very important. You are interested in the totality of the experiences. That's why it is phenomenological. There's a theory called phenomenology. Phenomenology. It's a theory. And if you look at that, if you study phenomenology, there's a video on it on this channel, phenomenology. You will understand that this interpretative phenomenological analysis is like applying the theory of phenomenology into social reality. So view that video, you will understand it better. So because you are interested in totality of the experiences of such people, and it is very important. So it's good for small sample, like I mentioned earlier, it's for qualitative data analysis, and it's not for generalization. We're not looking for general cases, but peculiar cases in idiographic form, even though from that we can have general understanding of the patterns of the issues. And there are advantages of this method. What are these advantages? Number one, it gives you subjective understanding of the original understanding. Then it allows you to get large amount of data. It enables you to get detailed understanding, contextual understanding. Your understanding is based on the original context of the people. So these are the major advantages. But what are the disadvantages? It can be very cumbersome. You are looking at detailed, interpretative, detailed of the situation. And you have to look at it in thorough way. So it can be cumbersome, it can be laborious. It can be very difficult to do, and it can be expensive. If you don't have funding, then you are looking at, instead of you doing your questionnaire to just look at patterns generally after data analysis, but in this case, you are taking your time to understand the totality of the situation per situation, and per case. So that's very important. And sometimes it's not so original. Sometimes researchers can influence the data in terms of interpretation if it's too based on too much interpretation. Then you can have too much data, that you may have hundreds of pages of transcripts, which may be difficult. So you may have too much data, it may consume your time because it's cumbersome, can be time consuming, and can be very expensive. And this is very important. So these are the disadvantages. But generally speaking, I think this interpretative phenomenological analysis is a very important one. You can try it in your next research. Well, you can also ask me the difference between case study and this interpretative phenomenological analysis. There's a video on case study here. For sometimes in case study, you might move from general to particular case. But in interpretative phenomenological analysis, you are not moving from general. You are only interested from the particular case. From the specific. You're not moving from general to specific, but you are interested in the specific. You're not even or particular. You're not even interested in the general. So sometimes in case study, you've seen a general pattern first before you're now moving to now say, okay, let me now explore this case better. You see the understanding. So case study can be from general to specific. You have an idea, a sense of a general situation before you're now saying, okay, now let me now take specific cases to study. But in interpretative phenomenological analysis, your interest is originally at a case-by-case basis, ideographic, and you're not moving from general to specific, and you're not moving based on general assumptions, unlike in case study. Your interest, even though you're going to move now from your particular case, you now want to understand the general patterns or assumptions, it's a different case. So that's a major difference. And in phenomenological analysis, you are also trying, interpretative phenomenological analysis, you are also trying to understand the contextual nuance, contextual innuendos that are driving the issues in their totality. And this is very important. I hope you enjoy this. Till I see you in my next video, kindly subscribe to the channel and share the video as widely as possible. And drop your comments. I will respond to them. Bye for now.